They told us it was there, a wonder of the ancient world. Terraces rising above the dust of Babylon, heavy with trees, shadow, water, and life in the middle of a brutal land. They wrote it down, passed it on, repeated it across generations, and in time the story hardened into something that sounded like certainty. Men spoke of the Hanging Gardens as though they had stood beneath them, touched the stone, heard the water falling through the leaves. Yet once again, the deeper you look, the thinner it becomes. No clear ruin, no settled proof, no clean, undeniable foundation, only later words on paper, copied and preserved by those far removed from the thing itself. And so, a question begins to form beneath the legend. How much of what man calls history is simply repetition grown old, enough to wear the mask of truth? This is the pattern that runs deeper than Babylon. A thing is written. It is repeated. It is inherited. Then protected. In time, doubt becomes unwelcome. Not because the evidence is strong, but because the story has become useful. Useful to culture. Useful to authority. Useful to the human hunger for certainty. Men would often rather possess a polished lie than sit in the discomfort of an unanswered question. Perhaps that is why the world is full of ghosts dressed as facts. Lost gardens, hidden relics, sacred claims, vanished wonders. Whole structures of belief raised not on stone, but on confidence, tradition, and the fear of admitting how little is truly known. And once enough generations have bowed to the same story, questioning it begins to look like rebellion. But the real darkness is not that men were mistaken. It is that they so often prefer the mistake once it gleams. They prefer the finished sword, the polished narrative, the repeated claim, because uncertainty asks something of them. It asks them to think, to stand apart, to endure not knowing. And most would rather inherit certainty than forge truth in the fire for themselves. So, perhaps the Hanging Gardens matter for more than whether they stood or fell. Perhaps they are a mirror, not of Babylon, but of mankind. A reminder that men can build entire worlds out of paper, memory, and repetition. Then, call the structure solid because it has survived. And perhaps the hidden thing is not the garden at all, but the truth buried beneath the weight of everything men were told to admire.